Imagine you are watching a horror movie, a dark room, silence. The tension is building. You think, this is just fiction. But suddenly a phrase appears, based on a true story. And in that moment, everything changes. This is no longer just a story. This is something that really happened to someone, somewhere, and maybe not so long ago. Today you will hear stories that are so terrifying that even cinema could not fully convey them. The house that doesn't let go. The Amityville Horror. It all began in Amityville. An ordinary night, an ordinary house. The family is sleeping. But on November 13th, 1974, something changed. Ronald DeFeo Jr. takes a rifle and methodically kills 6 members of his family. The strangest thing, no one woke up, no one ran, as if the entire house was paralyzed. After his arrest, he says, "Voices made me do it." A year later, the Lutz family moves into this house. At first, everything is fine. A new home, a new beginning. But after just a few days, the temperature sharply drops in certain rooms. A strong, rotten smell appears. Flies gather even in winter. The head of the family begins waking up every day at exactly 3:15, the same time the murders happen. The children talk about a friend named Jody. He's not human. He is something else. His eyes glow in the dark, and he is always watching. One day the woman wakes up and sees her husband looking at her, but his face is not his. On the 28th day, they simply run away, without things, without explanations. They just leave everything behind. The film shows this as a demonic story, but the truth is that even today, no one can say for sure what was really there. But sometimes, the house is not to blame. Sometimes evil is not something supernatural. Sometimes evil is a person, a man without emotions. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, looks like pure fiction, but it is partly inspired by a real person, Ed Gein, a quiet, withdrawn man from Plainfield. No one suspected that something terrible was hiding behind his calm behavior, and it could have continued for much longer, if not for one disappearance. In 1957, a woman disappeared. The owner of a local store, Bernice Warden. Witnesses said the day she was last seen, together with Gein. And also, in the cash register, a receipt was found written in his name. It was a small detail, but enough for the police to pay attention. When the officers came to his house, from the outside, an ordinary farm, quiet, empty, almost abandoned, but inside, a world that should not exist. A woman's body hanging like a carcass, furniture made from human skin, masks made from faces, skulls used as household items. This was no longer just murder. This was something much worse. Gein was not a typical serial killer. He dug up bodies from graves, collected parts of human bodies. They say he wanted to recreate his mother, to create a new reality in which she was still alive. The film exaggerates, adds a chainsaw, a family of maniacs. But the image with the mask, made of skin, is a direct reference to reality. And what if evil looks like a child who became a monster? The Exorcist. The film is one of the scariest in history, but it is based on a real case, a boy known as Roland Doe. In the 1940s in St. Louis, strange things began to happen. Furniture moved on its own, scratches appeared on the body, the voice changed. Priests conducted a series of exorcisms. Witnesses said that the boy spoke languages he did not know, rose from the bed, demonstrated inhuman strength. The film shows this dramatically, but the records of the priest still exist today. But sometimes, evil does not scream. It simply watches. The doll that watches. The Conjuring. The story of The Conjuring is based on the investigations of Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the most famous, the doll Annabelle. In reality, it was an ordinary rag doll, but it changed position, left notes, moved on its own. A priest who tried to mock it got into an accident after meeting it. A coincidence? Maybe. But there were several such cases. Today, the real doll is kept in a museum, and they say people are still afraid to touch it. But sometimes the scariest thing is not what has already happened, but what could have continued for years, and no one knew who was doing it. The code that no one solved. Zodiac. Late 1960s, San Francisco. The city lives an ordinary life. People work, fall in love, plan the future, and somewhere nearby, someone begins to kill. Letters arrive at newspaper offices. The author signs a Zodiac killer. Inside, confessions of murders, details that only the killer knows, encrypted messages. He does not just kill, he plays. He sends codes, challenges, threats. In one of them he writes, "If you do not print this on the front page, I will kill more." And they print it. Because fear has already taken over the city. He was never caught. Never. He simply disappeared. Zodiac shows not only murders, but the obsession of people who tried to find him. And a fear that does not end. Because when evil has no face, it can be anywhere. But there are even darker stories where the monster does not hide. He lives among people. For years, a man who lost the boundary, Dahmer. His name was Jeffrey Dahmer. Place, Milwaukee. At first glance, an ordinary man. Quiet, almost invisible. That is why he was so dangerous. He invited people to his home, promised money, photos, alcohol. Nothing suspicious until the doors closed. His crimes were so horrific that even now they are difficult to fully comprehend. He deprived people of freedom, conducted cruel experiments, tried to create an ideal controlled person. This is no longer just murder. This is the complete erasure of the boundary of humanity. The police once almost stopped him. The victim escaped, was found, but due to a mistake, they returned him back to him, and it became fatal. The series Dahmer shows not only the crimes, but how society did not notice the obvious, how evil can exist nearby and remain invisible. We think that movies are fiction, that all these stories are created to scare us. But sometimes, this is reality that inspired the scripts. And the scariest thing here is not demons, not ghosts, but that the world is much darker than we want to believe. So the next time you see the words, based on a true story, ask yourself the question, what if the truth was even worse?